So let's get started with today's session. It's basically whatever we've been seeing from previous connects. It's about Lava. So Linaro automation validation architecture. So basically, Lava has come through a long way, and we have, pretty much a lot of devices in a Cambridge lab, which is running a lot of jobs every day. So we'll introduce. So the agenda of this session is we'll give a high-level introduction to Lava, and then we'll walk you through how to write and run tests, and how to look for test results, and then some detailed introduction about reporting in Lava, like image reports and stuff like that. So Lava is a combination of all these things. So the words you see here, right? So this makes up Lava. So some of the prominent things are like in Lava terms, we talk about device, test, job, image, boot, run, and whatever, YAML, and stuff like that. So let's have a look at the terminology. First thing, job. So Lava takes something called a job. A job is nothing but you have a device and you want to make use of this device by some means in order to run your test, or you just want to boot this device and see with your patches and stuff like that. So in order to do that, you need to write a job. So the basic part of Lava is writing a job. Where you write a job. These jobs are basically done using JSON format. So you write a job and then you submit this job to Lava, so that Lava takes this job and sees what are the instructions you have given to Lava in order to execute, and then it just executes those instructions on a device. So that takes us to the devices. What are devices? Devices are nothing but the actual platform, or the actual boards which we need to test. So before going into that, Lava was designed in order to get a system where each and every developer across the world can have access to different boards which are accumulated or being centralized at one place. So say for example, it becomes impractical in order to give different kinds of boards to each and every developer who is developing different things. So in order to get access to these boards, Lava aggregates all these boards as a centralized location, and then gives an interface to the users in order to run their patches on their boards. So these devices are nothing but the boards which we use for testing. So it could be a BeagleBone, it could be a DC2, it could be a Versatile Express. Different kinds of boards are there, and also we also support things like KVMs and QEMU devices. So, and the next important part is the Lava dashboard. So the Lava dashboard is nothing but the UI which you see here. So, say for example, this is the first screen which you see when you open Lava. So our production instance of Lava is validation.linaro.org. We shortly call it as VLO. So VLO is based in Cambridge. So we have a lot of devices. It's an officially supported instance of Linaro. So this basically the dashboard. So dashboard has different links, we have the dashboard has links to image reports. These are used in order to go through your results, and the scheduler has different stuff like this where you submit your jobs. So this forms your dashboard. Inside the dashboard, some of the important things are bundle stream. So this confuses many people. So what is a bundle stream? A bundle stream is nothing but it's it's a path where you upload all your test results in a specific format. So the format in which we upload all our test results direct from Lava, in order to store that in Lava, is JSON. So we call those JSON files as bundles. So a place where we collect all the bundles is called a bundle stream. So this bundle stream is specific to you can have specific bundle streams for different teams or individuals, and you can have anonymous streams or private streams. So private streams will have access to only groups and individuals, whoever creates it. For example, if a team has a private bundle stream, so all the bundles or all the test results which goes inside that bundle stream will be accessible only by that team. And on the other hand, if you have an anonymous bundle stream, it is open to all. You can, anyone can upload to your bundle stream or the anonymous stream and then view the results. And filters, image reports, we'll get back to it in some time. So basically, these are like how you interpret your test and report different test results. And the other thing is worker. So workers are nothing but Lava could be installed. Lava instances could be installed on a distributed environment. So you have, it's just like a master-slave kind of setup. So you have a master Lava instance which holds a scheduler, and it does, the dashboard which you see is all been hosted inside the master instance. And we have different worker instances. Also we call it as dispatchers, which are like separate machines onto which all your devices gets connected. So those are the workers. So what happens is when you submit a job, Lava master will find out the device which is attached to a specific worker instance, and then hands the job over to that worker instance in order to run your test on that device and then the device runs the test, and the test results gets accumulated and it gets pushed to the master. That is nothing but the Lava dashboard. And the last thing is health checks. In order to keep track of what are the boards which are available, and whether the board is okay to run tests or not, we have something called health checks. Health checks runs on a daily basis on each and every board with a good image, good working image. We know that this image works on this board. So the lab team tracks these images, and then they just use these images in order to run their health checks. These health checks are nothing but it sees whether the network works properly, and different kind of things. And it runs a small, minimal test in order to make sure that, okay, this board is ready for running your jobs. Okay, so let's come to how to write your test. The first thing is Lava is designed for testing something on your devices. So in order to write a test, the test definition, we call this as a test definition. So the test definition is basically written in YAML format. So it's a simple test definition to get started with. So whatever you see there, right? So there is a metadata. Metadata section has different things like format, name, description, and maintainer. And you can also have different things like what OS this definition will run on, what are the devices on which this test definition will run on, and things like that. Yeah.
Those are mandatory. Well, for me, I wouldn't accept the patch without those.
Okay. Okay. So these test definitions, as Milosh pointed out, like OS devices. Of course, in Lava terms, they are optional, but as far as to have a sanitized test definition, it's always good to specify the OS on which this test definition will run, and all the devices to which this test definition will apply to. So that could be given as a list. So for a minimal test definition, this is good enough. So the format, we have Lava test definition 1.0, and basically, it's been there for a long time. We didn't evolve a lot of things in the test definition structure as is. So that's why we have the test definition format as 1.0. It is a mandatory argument, parameter which you need to specify. And then comes the name. So a name is nothing but how you designate this test definition. It becomes part of what you're going to testing. And the description gives a long description about what this test is going to do. And you can mention the maintainer who is maintaining it, and there could be arbitrary metadata which will be of interest to you, which you can supply here. And then comes the next section, which is the run section. So run is a section where you specify what has to be performed on the device in which you're going to test. So we define it with a series of steps. So there is something called Lava test case. It is nothing but a wrapper which helps you to run any command and then aggregate the result. So in the steps section, right, you can give a list of steps which are nothing but command. It could be a command, it could be a script which needs to be run on a device and different things. So that forms the main part of your test definition. And then the last section becomes your parse. You give a pattern to catch the test results. So say for example on the steps, right, my test, what it does, it echoes a pass. So, and also it echoes a fail if something fails on the device. So basically these are nothing but it will be thrown on the standard output, and this parse pattern will be able to catch whatever result or whatever status the test has thrown. For example, if you see the pattern over there, it looks for the test case ID, which is nothing but on over there it is echo 1. Echo 1 is a test case ID. So basically this complete test definition will run lot of test cases within. So it's a collection of the test definition is used in order to run different test cases. So test case ID, the pattern catches test case ID, and then it parses for the result. The result could be pass, fail, or if in case you want to interpret an error, catch results such as error and different kind of things, okay, or done or whatever. So you can write your parse pattern in such a way. So this is about writing test definition. It's a minimal test definition, and there are more complex examples which is available. We'll show you where you can find these examples. And so we saw about. Thank you. So writing a job. So we saw how to write test definition. The next step is how to write a job in order to instruct Lava to run something on a device. Okay. So jobs are nothing but it has different sections like this. So you have jobs are a series of actions which Lava understands in order to look for a device, put some test image on the device, and then get your test definition in order whatever you want to test, and then runs the test on the device, and then it submits the results accumulated from that test run to the dashboard. So these steps are being defined inside a job as a series of actions. So if you see on the job which is given there, I think it's very small. I'll just explain the important things. So the first action which we do is deploy linear image or deploy an image. So you have a board, and then you want to deploy some image on that board. So that's the first instruction. It could be your test image which you want which you want to run your test. So that is the first instruction you give to Lava. So Lava takes that image and then deploys it on your board. And the second action you can see here is the Lava test shell action. So Lava test shell is nothing but the actual action which takes your test definition and then runs it on your device. So here I've given like a pass fail test to be run on the image which was deployed in the previous step. And once a test shell action, you can also specify a time mode, and you must specify a time mode in order to make sure your test completes in a specific amount of time. So, because else it will go on forever. Of course, after some point of time, there is a default time mode with Lava. After that, it will actually if there is no time mode specified, Lava will cancel that test, running those tests. But it's always good to specify a time mode for the action which you're specifying on the job. And the third part you see here is submitting results. So once the image gets deployed, you run your test, and then you submit your results. And submitting results, maybe this will go away in at some point of time, because every time you have the same URL. The server is specified. For example, this is nothing but your dashboard URL. As I said before, that forms your master in dashboard URL. So we just submit the results using XML RPC, and then the next thing which we need to specify on the submit results is the stream. So the stream is nothing but the bundle stream which we saw previously. So here we submit the results of this job to the stream anonymous slash Stelzen. So that's a stream where you submit all your results. And as I said before, these results will be accumulated as a bundle. A bundle is nothing but a JSON file which will be uploaded to the URL which is given there. And then other things and some mandatory things are like job name. So you need to have a name for your job, some name which explains what your job does. And you need to specify the device type. So the device type is nothing but, there are two ways you can specify where your test has to be run. One is the device type. So when you specify a KVM device type, it can look for any KVM device which is available as part of Lava. Say for example, you specify the device type as BeagleBone. So it will look for the available BeagleBones as part of this Lava instance, and then fires your test from that. And there is an alternative way of specifying exactly which device you want to use in order to run your jobs on. So that could be specified with a target parameter. So we say target, we say KVM staging, KVM 01. So if there is a device which is named as KVM 01, your test will run on that device without looking for other devices, provided the device is available. And the last part is timeout. So this timeout is for the entire job, and the other timeout which we saw for Lava test shell, it is for that test alone. So you can specify timeouts for each and every individual action. So at an overall, so we expect this job to complete with a timeout specified at the end, or anywhere you can specify this, because it's plain JSON. So you can have the job name at the top, and then you can have the actions. So this is about jobs. And so what are the actions which are supported in Java? Sorry, in your job. So the basic actions are like boot. So something which we want to boot. For example, you deploy your image and then you want to boot something, or you have something already deployed. You just want to do a boot test. So you just specify the boot to boot. For example, you have something. There is something called dummy devices in Lava. So where it is already running, and then you just want to reboot that device, and then run your test on it. So the boot action specifies that. And as we saw on the previous job, right? So the deploy action takes your image, whatever you want to deploy on device. And then Lava test shell is nothing but, as I said before, it takes a test definition and runs on the device where you want to run your test. And then submit results. So as we saw, like it submits the bundles to one of your bundle streams. So referring test definitions, as we saw here. So my test def Lava test shell takes my test definition. So we have specified a test def repo. So what are the different ways in we can get your test definitions? So the first one is in local. You can have your test definition locally. I mean, provided your instance is basically like on your machine or something like that. But local is mainly used for development purposes, where you have your instance running on your machine, and then you just want to pull that test definition and then run it. So in local, we have something like file : / you specify a path where the test definition exists. And the other two things are interesting. So the first, the second one is Git. So you can specify a Git repository where you want to pull your test definition from. The same thing applies for Bazaar repositories. So these are the two version control systems which we support as in order to pull your test definitions. Okay, how to execute a test? There are different ways you can submit your job. So we have a job submission UI. Okay, so this is the job submission UI. So basically what we do is we just copy this entire string and then put it inside this text area, and it does a validate, and then you can submit a job. The second way of executing a job is like job submission wizard. So maybe Stevan will walk you through the job submission wizard.
Well, job submission wizard is nothing but an easier way to basically create a job file. So if you're tired of writing JSON or whatever, you can just go through these simple steps, and Lava will do the rest for you. So I don't know. You have to specify the job name, timeout. Then you want to put the link to in our image. So this link can be a local one, HTTP. So let me just quickly take. So once you've done that, you can specify the device type and add the device tags. This is something we haven't covered yet. So for each device, you can add tags, and they're tied to that particular device type. And then you can, in the job definition, you can specify those tags, and then the scheduler will pick up only the device with those particular tags added to it. So, and in the end, you just specify the bundle stream you want to upload to, and that's all. It just takes some anonymous. So this is what we get once we go through the wizard. We get a complete JSON job file ready for submission, and
there's no steps in there.
sorry?
There's no steps, it's not going to do anything.
Oh, okay. We probably missed a couple of we didn't
Put a boot
to
action
extend
or a
it.
Just
test
booting,
action,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I don't think it's gonna boot, it'll download the image and
Yeah.
compare it, I don't want anything
Yeah,
else.
I'm not gonna run.
Just saying.
Okay, and third way to submit to execute tests is the Lava tool.
Yeah, the third way is Lava tool. Like it's basically a command line tool which you can use in order to submit jobs. The same way, like whatever you saw in the UI, right? It takes a JSON file and then you can submit it. So basically, Lava tool exists in order to like do some scripting on top of it, and it talks over XML RPC, and you, so that's the three ways of submitting a job and monitoring your jobs. So there are different ways. The first one is live log files. So what happens is, as soon as you submit a job,
I got a question here.
Quick question. So on the wizard, I guess the tab where you select the test cases you want to run, is it going through the Git repos and extracting the information and populating that drop-down list, or is it static?
You don't select test cases, you just put a link to a test definition repo and it adds to it.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's only one test. I mean, I cannot say I want to run all my, I don't know, Ethernet and whatever functional tests. You can only point to one YAML file right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you
You provide the URL to a
Yeah,
YAML, that's it.
yeah.
Okay.
It's basically still work in progress. We're
Okay.
accepting any suggestions, stuff like that. So for now, you can just add one repo and one.
You click on the top.
But it makes sense to add
Uh.
multiple.
I just
Then,
submitted
then
a
you run
job.
into the problem whether to reboot or not, and
Yeah.
I tried, and it's a very complex problem when you try to create a wizard, a UI wizard for like flexible wizard for Lava. I'm not sure if it's that useful.
Well, I mean,
It's a good for the start if you don't know like what you're doing actually at the very beginning to have some kind of wizard, but then you probably want to run your test plans in the editor, not in there.
I mean, the use case I'm thinking of is, let's say, a developer working on area X. He wants to run the Lava test related to area X on his kernel. So how does he do it?
Well, exactly, that's what I'm saying. He has a template or whatever, and then he submits it from the command line, not from the.
He has a what?
Submits it from the command line, not from the UI. That's how I would do it.
Okay, no, but in the command line, which YAML file is he? I mean, he has to point to a YAML file, or
No, he has to point to he has to prepare a JSON template.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I guess one potential disconnect, right? People that is not familiar with the whole test case structure, they just want to have, and I'm saying I get these requests as well from our developers.
I think there used to be like.
I mean, they don't know how,
There
for
used to
instance.
be a shell tool that was doing more or less the same thing, and was a bit more flexible.
Yeah.
Antonio did it.
Yeah, there was. But it was a lot simpler and you could just. I'm not sure I recall everything, but yeah. It had a template JSON.
So it will be nice, if at one point we can have something that allow people that is not exactly familiar with all the YAML files and whatever to say, hey, I want to run whatever test you have on this area, so we can populate at the high level areas that are available.
I think after the dispatch refactoring, we can make Wizard a bit more
There's a lot of
modular.
changes.
So
Yeah, like if you put the repo in there, it can go read it and then say, here's your test cases that are available in that repo,
Exactly.
something like that. So it's a little bit more dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Because right now, then you have to not only give the URL to the repo, but then also know the path to the YAML.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
okay, taking that error out of the user's hands would be good, because how many times have you done it where you didn't put the right path to the YAML
Yeah.
file in there?
But what we've never done is actually said that Lava supports these tests. No. You write the test.
Yeah.
We'll offer a list of the tests that are
Mhm.
available in the Git repo that you specify, or we might even have with the refactoring. You might even be able to commonly used repos and stuff.
Sure, I agree with that, and it's not part of Lava when I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
you can think of it as a plugin or whatever. It's our test case interface that let you run something.
What I'm also thinking would be nice if we do that and we have that dynamic stuff, all that metadata that's in the YAML file, essentially the scheduler can figure out, okay, this is, and it can display the description for each test case so that not only do you get a list of YAML files, but you can see what the test does
Yeah.
and who the maintainer is and all
And
that stuff.
selectively present those based on what's appropriate for the target you selected or.
Exactly.
So
Again, we can so much more data out of the results of the refactoring that we can then do verification and say actually this test definition doesn't actually declare that it's being
Yeah.
used on this test before.
Or it says this is a Debian-based distribution test and you're trying to run this on Fedora, it's probably
Yeah.
not going to work.
Or we,
Yeah.
yeah, if we probably add couple of more metadata to the test case definition to identify whether this is functional or performance or
Yeah.
then we could just go through the repos and dynamically populate, let the user select the actual test cases they want to run at a high level.
Okay. That's good feedback for the dispatcher refactoring and then the server talk, or this server integration stuff we talked about.
The trees, right?
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
let us work on that, that's the thing we.
Yeah. I mean, the way we do it in that, we clone the trees.
That's what I try to do, but then
It's almost like it's better to do HTTP requests and instead of like, sitting on top of a Git interface or something like that. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
What I was trying to do, I was also trying to track the changes in the test themselves.
Mm.
Yeah. It proved to be a bit of
But again, we'll be supporting that. We'll also be supporting, this test was an NFS test, this was a Randis test. You'll get that data in the future.
Yes.
Okay, so about monitoring a test, so we have different ways in order to monitor a submitted job. Basically, like this is inside dashboard. Once you submit the job, right, you have live logs which you can monitor directly. So this is one method. And once a test, the job has completed, so you have different things in order to know like how the job ran and things like that. So everything gets accumulated as part of your results bundle. So you'll have the log files for each of the test cases that ran, and also like you can download the complete results. So for example, when we ran this test, right, so you can see what is the what is the output on the standard out, and things like what's the written code and what script was used in order to run this test and this kind of thing. So this is like used for offline analysis. After your job completes. And the last one is like Lava tool for monitoring. Basically, you can submit job definition using Lava tool, and then Lava tool has the status and different options in order to. Lava tool takes different options in the command line in order to like check whether the job which you submitted is still running or what is the status of the job. It completed or it was incomplete and different kind of things. So you can script it in order to monitor your job.
Is there an example for Lava tool also?
Fine. So the next thing is like bundle streams and bundles. So Stefan will take you through.
Well, I think we should maybe wrap this up now and then continue the next session because this is going to take a bit longer. It's 12:30.